What's up everybody, it's your boy LVS Void here, coming in with part 2 of what if Deku or Izuku had solo leveling. Izuku holds the sword at his side while blood drips down the edges. The blade was chipped and cracked. Looks like this blade is finally dull in the end. A weapon will always lose its durability if constantly used. Izuku holds it up and gets a closer look. Even if I buy a high-grade weapon, it becomes like this once I cycle through the dungeon a few times. Izuku held up the blade. Well, thanks to you. Izuku drops the sword back to his side and looks around at the massacre of bodies around him. This worked out alright. Title: Wolf Slayer. A title given to a hunter proficient in fighting against wolves. 40% increase experience against beast-type monsters. 34 wolf fangs. 2 horn daggers. Traveler's clothes. Hearthstone. Izuku mutters to himself as he looks through his inventory. That's more than I was expecting. Hearthstone, Izuku calls out, and the stone with a blue glow to it materializes in his hand. Should I just go back? Izuku looks at the stone once more before putting it back in his inventory. No, there's no guarantee that there will be another chance to get stronger this easily. The random box gave me the key. Izuku rubs his face while looking around. Will this place just disappear if I leave now? Izuku continues to walk over the dead wolf bodies, looking around carefully. For the first time, I can learn about my quirk without it being weird or creepy. Izuku steps on the wolf's furry body. Advance or retreat? I'm so tired of constantly retreating. Izuku continues to march through the station, killing any new monsters that showed up. Alarm. You have leveled up. Every time I level up, the fight against the monsters gets easier and easier. Izuku cuts up what looks like a large baboon and a black panther, each with crimson eyes that keep reminding him of Katsuki's, but a lot more bloodthirsty. Report: you have slain Razor Claw Burger. Report: you have slain Black Shadow Raisin. Report: you have slain Black Shadow Raisin. I can definitely feel myself getting stronger. Izuku leans against his dull sword, panting as the dead monsters lay at his feet. Because the monsters keep respawning like video games, they don't feel like living creatures. Izuku stays in place, analyzing the monsters and the dungeon. Therefore, fighting them feels like a game where their patterns are determined. Izuku's eyes snap to the ceiling. I can figure out where they're coming from. Monkey from above. Izuku watches as a monkey drops from the ceiling. Cat from each side. 2 monster cats surround him. Izuku quickly changes his grip on his sword before swinging upwards, making the monkey fall onto the sword before slashing its stomach open. He quickly turns to the cat on his right, cutting its head off before finishing the second on his left. He turns around and catches a monster wolf straight down and cutting it straight down its body, cutting the wolf in 2. The blue glow in his eyes shine in the darkness as he breathes out. He looks down at the monster, seeing the once orange name turn silver. The color of the names changed according to the monster's strength. White means it's weak, orange means it's strong, and red? Izuku shivers a little thinking about the centipedes from the desert. Very strong. Izuku swipes his blade in the air, getting the blood off it as he continues to analyze the monsters. These monster wolves were orange at the beginning, and now white. That means I got a lot stronger. A lot stronger. But even with my current strength, I'm not sure I can beat down whatever is waiting for me down there. Izuku stares down a foggy staircase with grass overgrown on the cement steps. Jeez, I'm just getting goosebumps thinking about it. Maybe my sense stat Maybe my sense stat has increased so much, but I can tell how strong the monster is down there. Izuku opens up his status sheet. My level doesn't seem to be rising anymore. Status. Name. Izuku Midoriya. Level. 15. Job. None. Fatigue. 30. Title. Wolf Slayer. HP. 1105. MP. 200. Also, my sword won't last if I keep fighting needlessly. Izuku quickly makes his decision and walks down the stairs into the darkness that awaits him. It takes a while, and Izuku mutters to himself as it was quiet beside the steps. These stairs seem longer than the others. Izuku, once he made it towards the bottom, seeing the flooded area and overgrown grass everywhere. Is this seriously a devastation? Izuku reaches the bottom, not seeing the monster yet, until his eyes snap open to the pressure on his left. He brings his sword up just in time as something hits the sword hard. Fast! Izuku pushes against it as the sound of the scraping metal screeches. Then his body gets whipped around the platform right into a pillar, making it shatter and indent. Ugh! Izuku coughs up blood and gripping tightly onto his blade. He lands on his butt while catching his breath. Just a few inches above his head was cracked concrete and a crater. He quickly pulls his sword up, getting ready for another blow, only to find his sword is broken. Izuku stares at it in disbelief. I thought I leveled up a lot. He stands up, glaring at the giant snake in front of him. A name appears above it as its shovel-shaped head hisses at him. Swamp's ruler, blue poison fangs. Rasaka, that's a weird name. The giant blue snake curls back while towering over Izuku. But your name's still orange. The snake's jaws open with fangs outgoing. Each fang seemed to have metal in them as they shined in the low light. Are you the boss of this place? Izuku spins the broken sword in his hand, gripping it, so the blade pointed backward like a dagger. Izuku quickly takes in the snake as its scales look hardened. A sword won't pierce those. Punches won't have any effect either. Izuku's mind scrambles for an answer to this problem, but the snake went onto the offense. Izuku jumps left before attacking to the side of the snake, only to hear clank after clank. I need a fast attack with weight behind it, Izuku yells at himself as the blade did not cut anything. At this time, I have to weaken this guy's defense. Izuku looks up, seeing the glowing eyes of the snake and the silver fangs from above. He quickly turns to face its head as a large body moves in front of him. How do I deal with these thick scales? The snake moves quickly, making Izuku dodge more rapidly until the bottom of the snake's body whips forward and Izuku blocks it with his broken blade, pressuring his forearm against the flat side of the edge to add stability. Ugh! I might die if this thing hits me directly. Izuku grits his teeth harder, trying to block the continuous attacks until the snake flicks its tail upwards, dislodging Izuku's block. The snake makes quick work, moving as fast as a viper and slamming its body against Izuku's, ripping up his hoodie and causing him pain. Ugh! The snake finally stops, and Izuku lands on his feet and his knees, grunting. I thought I got a bit stronger, but I'm still lacking. Izuku stares at the ground. How much stronger do I have to get? Izuku grabs his blade rightly just as the snake's mouth and head were inches away. To escape from my past weakness! Izuku's blade meet with the snake's metal fangs as they both crack and spark against each other. Izuku flew backwards, landing on his feet. but in a low crunch. Strength. Izuku thought back to Katsuki and All Might as he sprints forward to attack the boss. A pressuring force squeezes your head and makes you yield. Izuku thought about the afternoon before the villain attacked. Him on the floor and his classmates laughing at him for applying to UA. The first time the sludge villain attacked him to get away from All Might. The sludge villain feared All Might, but All Might's strength didn't make the villain yield. Even false hypocrisy won't protect me. Give up, kid. You can't be a hero. You're quirkless. Whatever the opponent does, pure strength will overwhelm you, and fear will make your knees collapse and toes dig into the ground. Izuku grits his teeth even more to the memory of him getting beaten by his classmates. The teachers ignored it because they ignored me because I'm weak. Even if you're knowledgeable, Izuku thought about his marks, and he was the top of his class in every subject. All wise, Izuku creating a new path to get home without getting spotted by Katsuki or his goons. Nothing holds up in front of strength. Izuku breathes in deeply. It's easy to get betrayed. I have to get stronger. Izuku dodges another strike from the snake. That's why I came here. The snake's tail strikes him in the back, sending him face first into the concrete wall, making cracks spread throughout the wall. As the snake turns to face its opponent, Izuku gets off his knees, looking at the snake, his hand trembling from fatigue. I have to get stronger. Izuku didn't notice, but his eyes were ice blue instead of the usual bright green, and he dashes towards the snake and the snake follows his movement with the mouth open and fangs ready. Izuku dodges and slices up the underbelly of the snake. Not yet. He lands before cutting the scales more as his hoodie flaps in the wind of the snake striking him. I'm not afraid of you. Izuku jumps at the snake's head. Izuku jumps as the snake's head was coming at him. Izuku dodges left again, but this time the snake turns its head and snaps at Izuku's hand, making him drop his sword. Izuku grunts louder before jumping, wrapping his arms around the snake's neck, right behind its head. Veins show through Izuku's skin as he squeezes around the snake's neck, grabbing and digging his fingers against the scales. I put all my points into strength. The scales crumble under each of his fingers as he squeezes the snake tighter, and the sounds of the scales snapping make Izuku's crush, And the sounds of scales snapping make Izuku crush the snake harder. If it's this much! The snake goes up into the air, trying to get Izuku off its body, but he holds steady. The snake body slams Izuku into the ceiling, but he doesn't let go. Die! Izuku's arms wrap tighter, crunching the scales. Die! The snake starts spitting out blood. Die! Izuku's fingers and arms destroy the scales around its throat, crushing the snake's neck. Time skip. At the hospital. Izuku Midoriya still isn't back yet? His doctors ask the receptionist. Yes, he went out this morning. The receptionist looks at the doctor. Why isn't he returning even after sunset? The doctor looks outside, seeing the night sky. But he's recovered a lot and will be discharged soon. The nurse inputs while staring at the computer. There's something we're missing in that boy. The hero stated that he took a massive explosion to the chest, and yet he wasn't completely fine. I wanted to keep him in the hospital in case of a forced mutation quirk. We can never be too sure. The doctor walks away from the nurse. Alarm. You have leveled up. You have leveled up. You have leveled up. Ah. The cracked and damaged ceiling crumbles as a heavy breathing comes from Izuku. Soon, it turns into laughter. Izuku looks around at the damage. He sees the crater in the walls and the pillars where the snakes slung him. I guess I got a bit Izuku sits up while his back leaning against the blue scaled body of the giant snake. Stronger. The dull eyes of the snake facing away as its neck was crushed. Alarm. You have slain Swamp's ruler. Blue poison fangs. Rasaka. Item. Snake's Rasaka venom. Item class A. Type poison. A pouch that contains Rasaka's purified venom. Obtainable by defeating Rasaka. Unlikely drop. Drinking it will give you hardened skin, but will weaken your strength. Effect. Rasaka's steel scales. Minus 20% physical damage taken. Debuff. Weakens muscles. Minus 35 strength. Item. Rasaka's fang. Item class C. Type dagger. Attack 25. A dagger made out of Rasaka's fang. Able to paralyze due to leftover venom. Grants bleed effect. Can be equipped, stored, or sold. Effect. Paralyze. Attacked foes have a chance to become unable to move. Effect. Bleed. Attacked foes lose 1% of their health every 1 second. Izuku softly laughs as he looks down. My clothes are ruined. The sword I just got is broken. Izuku leans forward before grunting. My body is sore, but... He holds up a short blade slightly longer than his forearm. I obtained a better blade than the one from the penalty quest. Izuku looks around at this dagger with a small smile. A dagger made from a fang, not bone. I'll store all this for now. Alarm. The boss has been slain. The dungeon's interior will revert to normal. Izuku watches as the walls, floor, and ceiling start to move and pixelates, showing a brighter surface underneath it all. Then, the snake's body disappears, leaving Izuku on an empty train platform. Is it over? Izuku looks around, seeing a clean area instead of a degraded and bloodied one. He makes his way back towards the entrance, where it all started. Not a single monster. It was raining as he reaches outside. What time is it? Izuku questioned no one since no one was around. Who are you? A cop came over, and Izuku swallowed roughly. How did you get in here? Didn't you hear the broadcast? A cop? Izuku stares at the policeman. What happened? Huh? What are you saying now? The cop looks over Izuku as he still has a broken sword in his hand, and his clothes are torn. Could you be a hero? The cop looks at the fractured sword a bit more. Shoot, just... Izuku bit his tongue. Yeah, that's right, but... excuse me. I'll guide you, sir. This way. The cop began to walk past the cars that seemed to be crushed. Did a villain come over? Yes, we had him arrested a few days ago, but he got away. Mount Lady is halfway across the city and can't make it in time, so we all have to help. So we need all the help we can get. The cop continued to show Izuku the way. A sudden spike of power makes Izuku's eyes flash blue before looking forward towards the power flux. Over there, a building was broken apart by someone. I can feel it. All the way from here. We need Mount Lady over here. This giant won't go down. A small-time hero yells out as other sidekicks and cops try to help. The police were mostly trying to keep the news and citizens back. A giant quirk user kicks a truck before it flies into a building. I'm not going back to jail! Shark-headed villain roars. Please, leave quietly! The cop yells and pushes people back. What are the heroes doing? One news reporter yells. How long are they going to fight? What a mess! That's a lot of damage. The street cracks open. We need to figure out something soon, a hero yells, throwing a boomerang at the villain. Excuse me, coming through! The cop next to Izuku yells. Izuku, on the other hand, stands at the back watching. Is it because they were all called out in short notice? The communication isn't working. Also, their ranks are low as well. Izuku mumbles to himself, watching the villain curse up a storm. Eh, I can't help here. Plus, I just lied to a cop. I'm not a hero yet. Izuku shuts himself up, staring at the heroes as they get kicked around. No, I have to do this. Izuku rolls back his right sleeve, holding the broken sword by its handle. He felt a rush of energy course through him as he steps back into a pitching motion. Compared to the boss I just fought, this guy is weak. No one's eyes were on him as he flips his grip, holding the blade before throwing the sword. As soon as the blade left his hand, a small shockwave followed, blowing the rain away from Izuku's body as he does a backflip to counteract the backflow, the blowback. If we don't get back up soon, we're all screwed, a sidekick yells, blocking a slab of concrete from hitting his coworker. They all glare up at the villain, only to watch something nail the villain's forehead. The villain pauses for a second before being flung down the street, only coming to a stop when he hit a bridge. All the heroes stare at the destruction the villain left before rushing over to the passed out villain as his quirk let go. We did it! The sidekick cheers as they stand around the knocked out villain waiting for the cops. We beat him! The others cheered with her. The one hero taking the hit stared at the villain, seeing the forming bruise on half of the villain's face. What? The attacks didn't work at all until a while ago, but he gets sent 2 blocks backwards? By what? The sidekick looks around the area. On the floor next to the villain's head was a broken sword stuck in the street. A gigantification quirk that we couldn't handle was defeated by a broken sword? The sidekick looks up towards a cop. Excuse me. The sidekick quickly walks over. Yes? Are you talking to me? The new cop asks. Did you see who threw this? The sidekick holds up the broken sword. Ah, the hero over there. The cop turns to see absolutely no one. Huh? There was a hero right here a moment ago. That strength, that destructiveness. Were they a high-ranked hero? The sidekick looks back down at the sword. Izuku glances behind him as he walked away from the crowd and headed back to the hospital. I didn't think he would fall in one hit. Was he really that worn out? Report. Status. Name. Izuku Midoriya. Level. 18. Job. None. Fatigue. 72. Title. Wolfslayer. HP. 2220. Mana points. 350. Strength. 48. Vitality. 27. Agility. 27. Intelligence. 27. Sense. 27. Remaining points. 1. Leave the episode here. Leave it here today. It was only 1 chapter of the actual thing, so I'll continue to do this series. I'll probably continue to upload this series. I will be stopping the What If Naruto Was a Prodigy. While writing the story, I just didn't think that it would make much sense. Going through this, not really much sense, but yeah. If you would, go check out my other series, What If Deku Had the Renegon. I'll put a post screen, should be up now, sometime now. Hit that like button and that subscribe button, leave a comment, anything like that. Yeah, and sweet as. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys later.